My son's teacher said he was disturbing, but she was the one traumatizing kids. My son's teacher, Mrs. Garrett, sat across from me at the parent-teacher conference, sliding a folder of my 8-year-old son's drawings across the table, while whispering that he was deeply disturbed and needed immediate psychological intervention. "These violent images prove he's a danger to other children," she said, pointing to his sketch of a superhero fighting a monster. "This is Batman," I said slowly, "fighting a dragon. It's aggressive imagery revealing inner turmoil." My son Oliver had been coming home anxious and upset for months. Stopped drawing, stopped playing, started having nightmares. When I asked what was wrong, he'd just say Mrs. Garrett didn't like him. I'd assumed personality conflict. Kids and teachers don't always mesh, but calling him disturbed over superhero drawings? "Every boy in class draws action scenes," I pointed out. "Not like Oliver. His are especially concerning." She pulled out more drawings. Pirates with swords, dinosaurs fighting, a stick figure labeled bad guy in jail. "These are normal 8-year-old drawings. I've been teaching for 20 years. I know disturbed when I see it." That's when my husband texted me. He'd been talking to other parents in the parking lot. 4 other boys had been labeled disturbed by Mrs. Garrett. All had parents who'd questioned her teaching methods. "What exactly makes my son disturbed?" I asked. "He questions authority, asks why we do things, shows defiance. He asks questions? That's disturbing? Disruptive. He should accept what he's told." I recorded the rest on my phone. Legal in our state. Mrs. Garrett spent 20 minutes explaining how Oliver and the other troubled boys needed medication, therapy, and possibly special education removal, all for being normal, curious children. "Have you referred other students for psychological evaluation?" I asked. 17 this year alone. 17 8-year-olds in one class. I called an emergency parent meeting that night. Discovered Mrs. Garrett had been terrorizing kids all year. Silent lunch for asking questions. Public humiliation for wrong answers. One girl wet herself because Mrs. Garrett wouldn't let her use the bathroom during a test. But the boys who questioned her got it worse. Labeled as problems, disturbed, future criminals. She'd convinced 3 families to medicate their kids unnecessarily. We went to the principal together. 23 parents. The principal said Mrs. Garrett was a veteran educator who knew best. So we went to the school board with recordings, documents, and a child psychologist who'd evaluated all the disturbed boys and found them perfectly normal. The investigation revealed Mrs. Garrett had been doing this for years, targeting students who challenged her, especially boys, labeling them as problematic. Several former students were in therapy for anxiety she'd caused, but the real revelation came from a janitor who'd worked there 15 years. "She tells kids they're stupid," he testified, "makes them stand in the corner for hours. I've seen her tear up their work and make them cry. The board tried to quietly transfer her. We refused, demanded termination." Then Oliver drew another picture, him and his classmates celebrating with smiles and rainbows. The title, "The Day Mrs. Garrett Left." "Is this disturbing too?" I asked the board, holding it up. Mrs. Garrett was fired, lost her teaching license after the state investigation, tried to sue for defamation, but the judge reviewed her psychological evaluations of 8-year-olds and threw it out. "Ma'am," he said, "you labeled a child disturbed for drawing Superman. The only disturbing thing here is your teaching." She works at a call center now. Parents warned each other on social media when she applied to private schools. Oliver's in 5th grade now. He loves his new teacher, draws constantly, wild adventures and heroic battles. His teacher calls him creative and imaginative. One day, we ran into Mrs. Garrett at the grocery store. She glared at Oliver and muttered, "Still disturbed, I see." Oliver looked at her calmly. "I'm not disturbed. You were just a bad teacher."